Right now on Nightside, after 10 days and thousands of workers on edge, a deal is in place tonight, putting an end to that stop and shop strike. Terror in Sri Lanka, several Americans said to be among the more than 200 dead. And get this, security officials apparently knew about a threat to churches for more than a week. Plus, on this Easter Sunday, a visit with a miracle baby as a community comes together hoping to raise money. And when you hear about this kid, you might want to help. I'm Nick Medanis. You're watching News 12 Nightside. Those stories ahead, but first, a look at our community camera tonight in Stamford. Hope you enjoyed this Easter Sunday. Meteorologist Michelle Power is here to get us set now for the week. Michelle.
Yes, well, we are looking at a little bit more of the same, and by that I mean the clouds and even some rain chances as we start our work week. So let's take a look. First of all, this evening actually wasn't bad at all compared to how we started the day with fog, with some rain and clouds. This evening, dry and temperatures basically holding in those 50s. Now, overnight, these temperatures will get a little bit cooler, dropping back into the 40s. Notice that the winds have really lightened up and reporting calm in many locations at the moment. So the wind isn't too much of a factor tonight, but with less wind, less movement in the air, we may have a little bit of patchy fog develop. Now, I know I mentioned earlier, drier air has taken over, and it has, but can't rule out a couple of spots where we do see some of that develop. There's some rain on the way for tomorrow. First of all, the clouds will collect and this batch of moisture will continue to head northward, coming up from the mid-Atlantic. This will be a weak area of low pressure, so it's not a big storm for us. And in fact, it may not be much rain at all, but showers are possible tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. In the meantime, though, we stay dry tonight. Temperatures cool into the 40s, so it's a dry start in the morning, and we may have a little bit of sunshine before those clouds eventually win out and the rain moves in. We'll have much more on that coming up. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. New tonight, a deal is in place that finally puts an end to that stop and shop strike. The company and the union representing workers announcing a tentative agreement on a contract. It could help some 30,000 employees statewide. They walked off the job this month to protest proposed cuts to health care and other benefits. It's been going 10 days. Some customers refusing to cross the picket line, looking for other places to shop, especially ahead of this holiday weekend. The 3-year deal, which still needs to be finalized, includes increased pay for all associates, continued excellent health coverage for eligible associates, their words, and ongoing defined pension benefits for all eligible associates. Worshippers in Fairfield not letting a little rain stop them this morning at Penfield Beach. This was the scene. They bundled up and brought umbrellas for an Easter sunrise service. It is Black Rock Church's 8th year hosting the outdoor Easter celebration. A Bridgeport pastor brings the Easter message to life through music.
One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking of you.
Pastor Earl Johnson of Christ House of Unity Church saying he has a small congregation, but a big message. He says it's one of renewal through hope and forgiveness and is often best taught through song. He tells News 12 Connecticut, you don't have to be a Christian for Easter to be a teaching moment.
Whatever you are going through, just know that you can rise from it all. You fall down, you mess up, but in spite of what you've been through, you shall rise again.
Amen.
Johnson saying small urban churches like his have the power to inspire change. President Trump today at Easter services in Palm Beach, Florida. Mr. Trump arriving at the Church of Bethesda by the Sea shortly after 11 this morning. First Lady Melania and his daughter Tiffany with him. He and Melania were married at the church 14 years ago. Pope Francis leading Easter Mass this morning in Vatican Square. Francis traveling into a flower-decked St. Peter's Square, commemorating the resurrection of Christ after his crucifixion. This year, the Easter season is marred by the destruction at Notre Dame Cathedral, and today the Pope condemning what he called the cruel violence in Sri Lanka. That's where at least 200 people were killed during an Easter Sunday massacre, including several Americans. Some 450 injured, 8 bombs at churches and hotels going off. Right now, 13 suspects said to be under arrest. Officials say 3 officers died as they went to question suspects. The attack coordinated by a group of suicide bombers. A Sri Lankan official says it's the carnage of religious extremists against Christians. There is a nationwide curfew, 6 at night to 6 in the morning. Social media is cut, apparently to curtail the spread of fake information. New video shows one of the explosions that rocked the area. This was at St. Anthony's Church. The entire country at a point on lockdown. Security officials apparently knew of a threat against churches for more than a week. Senator Richard Blumenthal says the U.S. should waste no time demanding full accountability for the horror.
The bloodshed, heartbreak, tears should be felt around the world, and so should accountability for these mass murderers. They deserve full justice and accountability, and all law enforcement around the world should join in this effort.
The Muslim Coalition of Connecticut saying this tonight: we stand in solidarity with our Christian neighbors and condemn this cowardly and barbaric act. We must realize that we are one human family, and the more division we sow, the more discord we will reap. A fire breaks out at Kimberly-Clark Corporation in New Milford. Kimberly-Clark is the maker of products like Kleenex and Scott paper towels. Officials say it happened this afternoon in a machine that makes paper. No word on any injuries or how the fire started. And several Norwalk families left tonight without a home after an Easter morning fire. News 12 Connecticut's Sean McCabe reports.
An unhappy Easter surprise for residents of this multifamily home on Soundview Avenue, who first responders say will be displaced for some time by the fire here this morning.
Got a report of fire behind St. Ladislaus Church.
When firefighters arrived on scene, they found flames billowing from the house's back windows.
Major concentration of fire in the rear of the house, which would be the kitchen, unknown where it started.
Officials say they dealt with a few obstacles fighting the blaze.
The house is elevated off the street, so it was a little bit longer stretch for the members to get the line to the 3rd floor.
But they were able to contain the flames to the structure's 3rd floor.
Took a few more extra minutes, but we were able to knock the fire down before it truly extended.
While nobody was hurt, the whole building will need serious renovations.
Heat and smoke damage into the attic area, and then the 1st and 2nd floor water damage.
Which means its 14 residents won't be coming home for a while.
We have to secure power. All 3 floors will be unoccupied moving forward.
Firefighters say it's especially sad to see on Easter Sunday.
No, fire's never a good timing for anybody, but always on the holidays it just strikes you a little more.
In Norwalk, Sean McCabe, News 12 Connecticut.
A car rolls over in Norwalk after a crash, and one of the drivers is charged tonight with drunken driving. It happened after midnight in the area of New Canaan Avenue and Riverside Avenue. Police say the Tahoe turned into a black Jeep going the other way, causing the Tahoe to flip. The driver of that Jeep is now charged. Despite this scene, nobody injured. And in Litchfield, 2 different car incidents in 24 hours. Tonight, a car rolls over on Milton Road. Crews from 4 towns working to help the driver. Still no word on injuries. We'll update you as more information becomes available. And this the scene last night. A pickup truck goes off the road and hits a tree near East Street and Northfield Road. This was just after 11 o'clock. Firefighters had to extricate the driver from the car, which was badly damaged. Police say the driver had injuries to his legs. A special needs child from Bridgeport who died at the age of 9 would have been 20 this week. The family of Aaron Richardson holding an Easter celebration at Beardsley Park to mark the occasion. Local leaders pay tribute to Aaron, who died at home in his mother's arms after battling cancer in 2008. The event taking place at Aaron's Journey, an all-inclusive playground that opened 2 years ago today.
When he passed, I got a pen and a piece of paper, and God gave me that strength to do this park.
This is an all-inclusive park for children with or without special needs. They can come here to this part of Beardsley Park and really enjoy one of the most beautiful areas of a park anywhere.
Aaron's mom says it took her 8 years to get Aaron's Journey built as a tribute to her son. Many groups helped, including, she says, News 12's reporting. The longtime editor and former publisher of a newspaper in Waterbury has died. The Republican American announcing William Pape II died yesterday. He was 87. Pape started working there in 1959 after graduating Harvard Business School. He is extolled tonight as a champion for press freedom, a Navy veteran who served his community. Governor Lamont calling Pape an iconic figure in Connecticut, quote, "He was a true newspaper man who was fiercely dedicated to in-depth local coverage. We extend our deepest condolences to his family, friends, and the Republican American newsroom." Only on 12, an Easter appeal for help tonight from a local mom whose 7-year-old son has a terminal heart condition. News 12 Connecticut's Frank Recchia reports.
Corey wasn't supposed to live. He was like a miracle.
Jamie Lake says she cannot imagine life without her 7-year-old son, Corey.
There's nothing that could replace him, like ever.
The problem is Corey has a rare genetic condition called Williams syndrome, which has weakened his heart and put his future in doubt. Corey has undergone 22 heart surgeries at Yale New Haven Children's Hospital.
It's just been a lot.
Each one putting as much stress on his mom's heart as it did on his own. But she does her best not to show it.
At this point, I've pretty much have tried to bypass my tears and just more love him and do everything I possibly could for him.
In spite of her resilience, Lake had to fight back tears while saying Corey's doctors have prepared her for the worst.
I'm only 33. I wasn't expecting something like this to happen. I don't think any mother does.
So we're going to give you an award for your mom and your dad and for you for the word courage.
An enthusiastic reception from the boy of the hour, who wasted no time showing his appreciation for today's honor from Mayor Joe Ganim, who encouraged the public to support a fundraiser for a car the family needs to get Corey back and forth to his life-saving medical treatments.
Donate and help out this family. No child should undergo or have to face 22 heart surgeries in a young 7-year life.
It's really hard because I don't have a car. I don't have any way of transporting him myself unless I rely on family or a friend.
The future may be uncertain, but Lake says she has Corey now, and nothing can alter the beauty of her love for him.
I guess I just count my blessings and do what I can for him.
In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12 Connecticut.
If you want to help the family, we have a link to that fund they've set up. Just go to news12.com. Inspiring young people in Bridgeport this holiday, a well-known musician is becoming a mentor for local kids. Latest tonight on the Mueller report, House Democrats like Jerry Nadler say the evidence of obstruction by President Trump detailed in the report is impeachable if proven. Democratic leaders are under pressure from some members to start impeachment. Senator Blumenthal condemning what he called President Trump's shameful role in the election fraud highlighted by this report.
The attack on our election system was concerted and calculated. It was sweeping and systematic. This report shows how Donald Trump welcomed and happily accepted it, and then tried to obstruct the investigation into it.
President Trump on Twitter this morning calling the investigation a costly waste of time. Despite no collusion, no obstruction, the radical left Democrats do not want to go on to legislate for the good of the people, but only to investigate and waste time. This is costing our country greatly and will cost Democrats big time in 2020. Getting ready for the work week now with meteorologist Michelle Powers. What can we expect as we head out the door in the morning, Michelle?
Well, we start the day off dry, but there is some rain on the way. So best bet, grab the rain jacket or maybe just the umbrella. Have that in the car with you just in case. We are looking at some scattered showers developing. Tonight, though, we should stay dry in Norwalk as we take a look outside. Maybe a little bit of patchy fog. It's not going to be widespread, but we did have some rain earlier today, a very small amount of rain, but that may just be enough to help develop some of that fog in spots. So looking back today in Bridgeport, we saw 5/100ths of an inch there, so just a little bit, and this is basically what fell throughout parts of Fairfield County. Take a look though for the month. We are above our normal or average rainfall, and even for the year we are above. Now, we didn't set a record, but there was a record today back in 1991 of over 3 inches of rain. So the spring can be a damp season. It usually is. We do have more rain chances coming at us beyond tomorrow too. Milford, take a look at your weather, take a look at the temperatures rather. We are warming up tomorrow, so temps are cooling now for the night, a little bit cooler than last night, 49, but we wind up in the 60s by the afternoon. Now, there will be a lot of clouds around, scattered showers developing in Easton and basically all throughout western Connecticut. So here's what's happening at the surface. We have one more little spoke on the wheel, if you will. A weak area of low pressure will be developing overnight now and into tomorrow, bringing some moisture with it. Once that passes, things are nice and quiet for a short time, but then there may be more showers coming our way on Wednesday. I'll have more on that and your 7-day forecast coming up. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. Governor Lamont nominates Marissa Paslick Gillette of Baltimore to serve as chair of Connecticut's Public Utilities Regulatory Authority. It's responsible for regulating the rates and service of electric, gas, water, telecom. If confirmed, she'll serve the remainder of the term held by Katie Dykes, who's now Commissioner of the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. Could your social media posts affect how much you pay for insurance? It is controversial, but for now, the answer is yes. Walt Kane explains in your Consumer Alert.
From vacations to holidays, so much of our lives are now lived in public on social media. And our family and friends aren't the only ones paying attention, according to financial planner Paul Oster.
At some point in time, either it's already happening or it's going to happen in the very near future, the insurance companies are going to look at your Facebook account, your social media accounts.
In January, New York became the first state in the country to weigh in on this issue. It said insurance companies can use information, including social media, to get more accurate underwriting and pricing. The insurer just has to disclose where it's getting its information, and it can't discriminate based on things like race or gender. So what might an insurance company be looking for? Anything that could indicate a customer is high risk. Evidence of smoking, for example, especially if you took a no tobacco pledge, or excessive alcohol use, or videos and messages that appear to have been posted while driving.
It's very popular for people to take these videos, live social media videos, while they're driving. So this is distracted driving at its best, and we're giving all this information probably to the wrong people.
But limiting the information you give out on social media, that's only half the battle. The other half, be honest when you answer questions from your insurance company. For example, don't say you don't smoke if your social media account might say otherwise. And that's your Consumer Alert. I'm Walt Kane.
Another healthcare hack. It's with a company that provides services like billing to doctors and hospitals across the U.S. MCare Inc. says a breach exposed personal data, including social security numbers and health information about patients. It's unclear how many people are impacted. So far, no sign the information was used for fraud. The FDA approves a device to treat childhood ADHD. It's a small patch that goes on a kid's forehead during sleep. It delivers a low-level electrical pulse to parts of the brain linked to symptoms. Said to be designed for ages 7 to 12, patients that are not on medication. The patch is also being looked at as a way to treat brain injuries in veterans. Not everybody has the day off on a holiday like this. We show you how a local fire crew is spending its Easter Sunday. First responders, they don't get a break for the holiday. Firefighters in Norwalk, though, liven up their 24-hour shift with a special Easter brunch at the firehouse. Members of the department say there's nothing like a gourmet meal to make the holiday feel special.
The firehouse is a home away from home to begin with, and especially when you're away from your families. This is definitely my second family, and all the guys feel the same way. So we like to do something extra. We did a little French toast, some pancakes, bacon, sausage, eggs, the whole spread. It was nice.
Firefighters here needing a break after responding to that Soundview Avenue fire we told you about earlier. Brunch all around on this Easter Sunday. Meteorologist Michelle Powers.
Yes, we had some good weather for that because it was gloomy in the morning, so best bet, stay indoors. Now, come tomorrow, we have more rain on the way. There's not a whole lot, but right now models are indicating that more of it may actually fall just to our east and outside of our viewing area, but be prepared in the afternoon for some scattered showers. There's a batch of moisture coming up from the south. Really, this is the tail end of this upper level low that has been sitting over the region. It's caused unsettled weather the last several days, and this last round of it luckily will not be too heavy. Once that clears, our pattern changes. So temperatures tonight a little cooler. We're dropping back into the 40s. Come tomorrow, look for highs in the 60s to near 70 degrees. Gets even better on Tuesday because we have dry weather. Showers early Wednesday, but now Friday not looking so good. Could be quite rainy, but next weekend, beautiful. We'll have much more on that forecast coming up. That's a look at your hyperlocal weather.
Michelle, thank you. You're watching News 12 Nightside. Stay with us. Your top story is coming up after this.